Do you have any suggestions as to how can people cope with staying at home?
I think that's a really interesting question, Diane, because it's really so much you can do from home. But I think first things first is try to remain in a positive space as much as possible. And I know that can be really difficult with all this uncertainty around us, but it's about sort of staying connected with others. I know we are physically distancing ourselves from others, but being able to reach out to a friend, try to incorporate as much normalcy as possible in your routine. It's okay to feel anxious and uncertain. It's okay to feel a bit negative. It's okay to normalize those feelings because we've never been through that before. But it's definitely about staying connected with others. It's about reaching out to others and finding those things that make you feel good, put you in a happy space. So whether it's reconnecting with your faith or doing home exercise routines or starting new skills, you can do that. And on the flip side of that, it's okay to perfectly rest. Just sort of have a moment to yourself. Take this as a press pause moment.
Are you seeing, more people concerned about, their mental well-being?
As we know, this crisis impacts more than just, a few days at home. It's impacting people's ways of living, livelihoods. People are losing their jobs. People are having to juggle multiple roles. They're the parent, they're the chef, they're the caretaker, So it's definitely recognizing an increase of mental distress and in some extreme cases, mental illness. It's definitely taking a toll on everyone because it impacts everyone.
How would you recognize somebody in your family that might be struggling and maybe they don't realize it?
Sure, there's definitely different ways that you can sort of identify someone's going through a tough time, having psychological distress. One of the first ways is physically. So, are you having unexplained aches and pains? Are you having problems with your digestion? Are you extremely fatigued? There's also things that people tend to forget about cognitively. So, are you having increased difficulties with forgetfulness and memory? There's also, of course, what we're probably more inclined to look out for is the behavioral and emotional changes. So, in terms of emotions, are we snappy? Do we feel really low? Are we sort of feeling depleted and unmotivated? Are we tearful in our behavior? Are we sleeping more? Have our eating patterns changed?